Bitcoin is bouncing for once. Bitcoin has actually faked out $100,000 as expected. We actually saw some great bounce at this level. However, I'm still cautious on Bitcoin. I think there's a chance that we can still fall for much lower. And I also got some new ideas to long and short Bitcoin. And lastly, I've got some surprising good news, to be honest, regarding a new competition that we're going to do, a trading competition. So stay tuned. Firstly, let's cover what Bitcoin is doing or going to do next, guys, because for the past 24 hours, it obviously moved by a lot. We left it while it was at 103, and I told you guys to be cautious. I told you that there's a high likelihood of actually going much lower to hit $100,000 at least, or at least hit or fill down the wick. We were at 103.4. Everybody was asking me if we should long at this line, and I told you guys clearly that if Bitcoin does not hit at least 102.1, I think that was the level of the wick. I told you guys that we need, or I'm expecting this wick to be filled, and then or the wick of this candle to be filled, and then actually maybe to start thinking about taking some long trades. So we had this line. I obviously just moved and deleted a couple of lines that we've had previously, but either way, we just had 102 at 102.2 or 102 point, I think 170 as the least target for a job, and we were waiting for such a job. We had opened our previous live stream because yesterday we actually did technically our first journey of going live every single day, guys. So if you want to keep up with my journey of us going live streaming every single day, make sure to hit the subscription and the notification bell, because I'm trying to actually stay on the same exact timing every single day. So be on the wait, on the lookout, and always expecting me to come up or show up on your screen every single time at 4 p.m. Dubai time. I don't know what time does it convert to in your specific respectful country, but maybe you can look at your time right now and think about me coming up every single day on the same timing. So either way, yesterday we had covered for a full hour and 40 minutes of us talking mostly about Bitcoin and how it can actually go for much lower. We had actually prepared you guys for a much lower prices, especially because we spoken about how important the 104.7 line was and how we can technically go for at least 102.1. But then we also had ideas for a potential long at $100,000. I told you guys that even though we do not have any technical volume or liquidity ideas based on the way I trade, I don't have something that is actually valid to tell you that I'm going to long at $100,000. However, I told you guys that this line specifically, the full $100,000, is the most important one, to be honest, not only because it is actually a full number, but also because psychologically, forget about volume, forget about liquidity, forget about longs and shorts. $100,000 as a full number is obviously one of the most, if not the most important line to be held, and also to be waiting for a fake out of us going below it and then reclaiming it for a long. So we had planned multiple ideas. Told you guys we even had weeklies and day MPUCs. We had multiple ideas here just to give you an idea of how the lines were looking like. It's not specifically, but something around this line. We had an idea of the wick or these lines, and then also $100,000. And lastly, I gave you or told you guys that $97,000 would be my preferred target, and it still is. But before covering that, let me just tell you what happened on Bitcoin for the past 24 hours, because we had gotten the drop. I even made an update video, guys, because once I was done with the live stream, I came out with an update video, I think 3 hours later, and I told you guys that now we have hit the target of us filling down the wick. I told you guys that I'm continuing to be bearish, but at least I started becoming bearish at $111,000, and now that technically we have done or gotten what we were looking for in terms of us, as we did on the higher time frame. I told you guys that I was technically waiting for a job. Why? Because Bitcoin had actually given us, or we were perceiving and waiting for Bitcoin to fully form a range. We had this consolidation, not fully confirmed yet, but we saw Bitcoin actually take liquidity from the upside. And I told you guys that technically now I'm going to be waiting for the other wick or other side of the range to be filled. Hence why I was actually waiting for lower prices for the past week. I think I made it very pretty obvious, guys, in every single video, me talking about some jobs. Even before starting going live on this channel, I've been talking every single day about how bearish I am or I was on Bitcoin. And even yesterday, we were planning actually a full drop to 102 for the least, at least, guys. At the least, we were waiting for actually the hit of 102. But then I also told you guys that if someone is waiting and planning to long, because I obviously told you guys that the area of 102 to 97 would be the area to be looking out for some longs on the higher time frame. Even if you can, I think I had this green rectangle, as you can see. And basically regarding this, I told you guys that I'm going to actually trade it cautiously, and I'm going to be waiting for multiple stuff to happen. I gave you 4 scenarios, one of which would play out for a long. What happened was, as you can see, if I go now to a lower time frame, just to give you an idea of how you could have actually taken a long, I'm hoping that someone, at least someone out here, has bought or longed Bitcoin once we faked out $100,000. Why? Because I told you that I'm going to be longing a trade setup in case Bitcoin does one of these 4 things. Either we immediately wick down at 102 and then reclaim it, and then if this doesn't happen, which actually didn't happen yesterday, this didn't happen. So I told you also, secondly, for the second idea for a potential setup would be actually hitting 101 to 101.4 and then reclaiming 102.2, which also did not happen. Hence why we're talking about the third potential scenario that we've spoken about yesterday, which was actually immediately hitting the 102 target, filling down the wick, hitting the weekly and the MPUC at 101 and 101.4, and just like continuously dropping, canceling the potential 2 setups or first 2 setups, and then immediately drop below $100,000. And now what this would mean, either once we've actually, let me delete all these previous lines, either or once we have actually, as you can see here, once we've actually like forgotten about or canceled the potential 2 ideas of faking out the wick, hitting the MPUC and going back above the wick, we only had 2 potential longs remaining. We either get a fake out of $100,000 and then think about longing, which actually played out. I'm going to explain why. Or we're going to be actually watching or be cautious about us hitting $100,000, not like going below it and not reclaiming it, and this would mean actually waiting for 97. So we had what was left once we had actually gone down under 102, and we had seen Bitcoin not being able to reclaim 102. We had only 2 scenarios left for a potential long. This is what we actually broke down for literally an hour and 40 minutes previously for the past live stream. I told you guys that you gotta wait for either a fake out of $100,000 because it's very important. We got too many stop losses and liquidity hunts under $100,000, or we see it being lost, like for example Bitcoin losing $100,000 and not being able to reclaim it. This also would mean not trading this and then waiting for $97,000. So I'm going now to give you an update now that I'm done with my quick daily recap. I tried to give it in as quickly as possible. I think 5 minutes was actually quite good. Now guys, I'm going to give you guys the next and potential ideas. Now, I'm hoping someone that have watched our previous live stream and the video that I've made, because I made a video and a live stream, I'm just hoping that someone had at least taken the long. And if you did just that, I'm hoping that you actually now are in some nice profits. But please don't put your stop loss at entry. Why? Because say for example you had entered once we reclaimed $100,000, say for example 100,000.2, and then your stop loss would be actually below the wicks. However, what I don't like about this wick or these 2 wicks, because we had seen a wick first and then we went back down and didn't quite take this wick, so we still got liquidity. I do not like the reaction or the look of this fake out of $100,000. I would have much preferred, to be honest, just to give you an idea of how I think in terms of liquidity, because what happens here when we get a wick and then a wick which is higher than the previous one, what happens here is someone who had entered at this time, like with the first reclaim, and entered and put the stop loss below the wick, and then Bitcoin went back and didn't quite hit the wick of the first one. It didn't take the first people who tried long. And so imagine that, like, we had seen everybody trying to long. It's an important area with a huge drop, and what happened was, instead of us given a fake wick, a fake out, and then going back down to fake out the fakers and then go back up, this would be much better in terms of liquidity. This didn't happen, hence why I do not like this low, and I have a hunch and a feeling it's definitely not something that I'd trade based upon, but just a feeling that I do not think that these 2 lows would be actually held. because I don't like the look of them, like especially at $100,000. $100,000 is the most important line in terms psychologically, in terms of how the markets all care about this magical $100,000 for Bitcoin, and losing it is very, very crucial. Now, with that being said, I also told you guys that it's an idea to be longing the fake out, and everybody knows that the best trade to be like longing is actually giving us a fake out of $100,000. Hence why, because I think that everybody has done it, and especially because we had fake or wick down twice, with the first wick being lower than the second one. I see a huge number of liquidity being stuck under these all of these lows, so I do not like this. If you had entered along, kudos for you. Please put the stop loss at entry, because I'd never be able to predict or tell you that with 100% confidence that yes, we're going to go down to get or fill down the wick, or at least like reclaim, sorry guys, to stop loss these guys and then go back up. I'd never be able to tell you this, but at least be cautious if you had entered a long, and if you didn't enter a long, then obviously you missed this, so it doesn't actually mean anything to you. So now that we're done with this, I just wanted to start things off with me talking about how much I dislike or despise these wicks, because even like in terms of timing, we had seen the first wick being put and in the middle of the night, Dubai time at 1:30, and then we saw the new daily candle open. So the new day opened, Wednesday's candle opened, and it didn't quite take the first or the previous wick. So if I go even to the daily, you can see how we've got two wicks that are next to each other. Usually this would mean actually a high amount of longs being sitting there. Like imagine like millions of people opening longs, which pushed the price like for the time being higher, but everybody has their stop losses around the same area. This is why I'm a bit cautious when the moves are too obvious, and also when the moves, like the good moves of longs, allow too many traders to actually get in. Like usually whenever the trade is too easy, it's probably because we're going to retrace back down to fill these wicks and like stop loss every single trader who actually gotten into this easy trade. I'm not saying that this is not a valid trade. I'm just basically saying that even or if you had taken this trade based on the plan we had made, it's obviously a nice, amazing trend or a trade. I obviously like it a lot, and I see that the reaction now is very good, and like you probably could have made money by doing it, so it's enough profits for you now. Put the stop loss at entry and book at least say 50%, 30% of profits. It's always good to be cautious, guys. Like please do not like hold a loss or hold a winning trade back down to loss or turn it into a loss, and then even watch it like in front of your eyes turn or become into a stop loss hunt for them to be actually winning. So please do not be a victim of a liquidity hunt now that you have actually gotten an easy trade, because I think everybody who had watched my videos, or at least the past video or the previous video and the live stream, could have probably like at least 10 to 20 people have gotten into the long, because I think the reaction was good. And even if you had been too early, so for example, if you had been too early at the first little wick or the second little wick or the third or the fourth, then I think everybody here isn't stopped out. So I think the reaction is too weak. Hence why, or that would mean actually most of my viewers would have made money, but also that would mean also that to be cautious of this wick holding. I don't think that this line would be holding. Now, when I say I don't think, I mean statistically, like in terms of technical analysis, I do not think that this would hold. That doesn't mean actually me predicting or like taking a random short. Like this would be a magnet that would like push my bias towards like lower prices. I'm going to also add why I think that we might actually go back to 97 at least. But with that being said, with me like still liking 97 to be hit, 97k to be hit, and also disliking the wicks that we've gotten below 100,000, these things do not actually like force me or make me short randomly. But this would actually play into the bias where now that I'm done with all of this shenanigans, I'm going to give you actually some nice short ideas. I've got multiple lines. I think you can see them even on my chart. I've got ideas to short. Now I'm going to be prepared and ready to take these shorts with you guys. I'm going to tell you exactly where or how I'm going to trade them, what kind of wicks or reaction I'm going to be waiting for before actually getting into the trade. And just before giving you these short trades, hopefully guys you're gonna bear with me, because I've got something as promised from yesterday. I told you that weeks are actually preparing some nice promotion for every single viewers now, and if you want to make some easy money because the requirements are too easy, don't worry, it's not a scam. It's just a trading competition that everybody can actually sign up with my own link to start actually doing this exclusively. If I go to the first description or the first link in my description, you can see that we've got this $4,200 trading competition. And how you can join is basically just making an account. You go on the first link. Yes, it is a promotion, guys, but at least this actually would give you something in return. It's obviously, or actually, one of the most amazing competitions that we've gotten from weeks. I even texted the guy back and told him, like, are you sure about the requirements? Because the last time we had a trading competition, it was $1,500 as the prize pool. Now it is 4,200, so almost, what's that, like almost 3x the amount. And also, it is actually divided into 600 the USDT chunks. So every single day, whenever the counter is done, we're going to have a daily 600 USDT price pool. And how can you join? If you want to ask me, just hit the register button. It's going to take you to the sign up area where you're going to actually put your email and the referral code and make an account with Weeks. The reason I like Weeks because it's good, very good for day trading, and also the fees are low. And if you sign up with my bonus or with my code, this would help me tremendously. But most importantly, would allow you to actually join in with the trading competition. Just to cut it short, guys, just make an account, go into the first link, and then press this button. It will take you to make an account with no KYC. So I think 2 minutes to actually fully do the account. And then what I like about this is actually it's very easy to rank among the leaderboard. As you can see here, guys, previously they required millions of trading volume. This time, even like from the first to the fifth guy, is every single guy is like the minimum trading volume is $5,000, guys. It's very easy. If you're trading with leverage, I think everybody knows that millions or thousands daily can be done. So it's very, very nice, to be honest. And the good thing is actually every single user will be getting actual USDT. So I'm not selling you a scam, guys. Here is just a trading competition, and the rankings or the leaderboard would be based upon who actually gets the trading or the highest amount of trades or trading volume every single day. So every single day, $600 would be distributed to every, or at least I think how many, let me count, or the leaderboard is, I think, is 5. So every single day 5 would be getting a total of $600 USDT, actual USDT. And also what I also like about that is they're also giving away 8 or sorry, $10 every single day for 8 people, as you can see here. So you got $600 in terms of trading volume based on the leaderboard of the actual competition, and 8 lucky winners every single day with an actual 8 USDT. So it's very good, to be honest. These kind of like promotions would actually make me more confident in actually talking about the exchanges, because I do not like to over promote and over talk about exchanges, because everybody has their own preferred, to be honest, probably account or exchange. But this is actually a nice exchange with also a nice trading competition to be talking about. Let me now take a quick look on the comments, and then I'm going to mention the short idea. Hopefully, Nuri Cross, thank you, brothers, for commenting. Holder said, I entered a spot buy trade on Bitcoin at 100,000, and if the price drops to 96, I'll enter again. That's a good method or strategy, to be honest. Hello, Ahmed. Thank you for amazing analysis. Thank you, brothers, for showing up. Thank you, Rifat. Brother Wayne said, hello, Ahmed. I appreciate you showing up for day 2. Live, I'm here for it. Thank you, brother, and also thank you for showing up and actually commenting and actually being active with the community. Hopefully one of many as members and friends of this nice community that we're trying to build. As I told you guys, just to quickly reiterate that this is actually the second day of like fully committing to doing or going live every single day. However, this wouldn't be taken away from the daily updates that we do every single day. So almost a guarantee that I'm going to go live from Monday to Friday at the same time every single day. And then in addition to that, after 2 to 3 hours, I'm going to give you a little quick update in terms of like a normal video that I've been doing for a while. Now, this is exactly how I've structured actually my own Arabic channel. So I've got an Arabic channel and an English one. The Arabic one is also like with the same structure. I'm doing every single day a live stream, and then I'm going to go or make a video. So I'm going to go live twice and then make a video twice. Hopefully, guys, everybody's making the most out of this content that I'm pushing out. Brother said, open position longs around 100,000 and DCA if the price goes down, and slowly taking profits as price goes up. This is a good thing to be doing, to be honest, especially if you're actually willing to like be in a bit of a drawdown and then lower your entry. That isn't much of a bad idea, to be honest. Nova said, is there any referral code for this? Yes, brother, actually is like, I think the link that I've got on my description is actually like has my referral code embedded. So if you press on the first link, this would take you to the main page of the trading competition. If you go lower here, you'd find this register button. This would take you to this page where you can actually put your email and find the referral code actually automatically being like written like there in the section. If it doesn't show up automatically, just I'll paste it on my I'll put it in the comments now, just for everybody who wants to actually just go 2 weeks and then make an account without like having the hassle of going and navigating multiple windows and tabs. Here's the code. It's just QLWL, these 4 letters. Putting them in the referral code section would actually make you signed up under me. And the good thing, as I told you guys, that yes, this is an exchange where I'm going to be I'm actually promoting. This is a partnership, but at least whenever I'm able, or at least when I get the chance to talk about something like this, I'm not going to do it like a lot. Last time on the previous live stream, I'm actually proud of this because I tried to not to like talk about my description for the first 1 hour and I think like 20 or 30 minutes. So if you want to support me, and also I'd never like overly promote something unless it makes you like it could make you actual money, guys. But by the way, just to give you a heads up, guys, that this trading competition is going to be all across my channels. So Champs Crypto, the Arabic one and the English one. So everybody who signs up and uses my own link and then like signs up to the competition would be trading all against each other. Whoever ranks top 5 every single day will be getting the money. If you literally, just to give you an idea of how easy it is, because I even double check with the team. Like I texted the guy on Telegram, I told him like, are you sure that this is actually the minimum requirement? And he said, yeah, they made it literally $5,000, guys. So I think that if you trade with leverage daily, you'd be able to get like, at least if you hold like $100 or like $200, you'd be able to at least or easily hit the minimum requirement. It's just a matter of who's actually trading against you. So you can see your leaderboard, guys. So every single day we've got new leaderboard with $600. And the good thing is, even if you do not manage to compete against the top 5 of every single day, you can get the random draw of 10 USDT. That's good, actually, to be honest. So enough talking about the promotion. If you want to ask me question, then that's all good, guys. But let me now cover the shorts. I'd rather, to be honest, even though I'm actively trading on weeks, I like it as a day trader, especially because it doesn't have KYC. So there's literally no friction of like between someone moving across or changing exchanges. That's very good. And I also like it in terms of fees. As a day trader, I'd never promote something that it doesn't allow me to enter with a good price and also exit with a good price. We know all what happened with Binance, guys, when we had seen literally the cascade of a job. We saw lawsuits, we saw Binance refund some people, and a lot of FUD on Twitter. Luckily, Weeks were doing quite alright with this job. This is why I like them. And also because the promotions are quite good, to be honest. I'd never like talk about something or an exchange that if they're not giving out good promotions, and especially because of this trading competition. Like the previous one was a bit hard to get the minimum requirement of trading volume. This time they're essentially just giving out the full amount of 4,200, guys. I'm just telling you guys that easily I know that everybody would be able to get the minimum trading volume every single day. So they're essentially giving out $600 USDT every single day. So if you want to compete or just try your best, you've got my own referral code and link in the first description. Now that we're done with this, let me take a sip of water and then immediately jump into telling you how am I going to short. And by the way, guys, because this live stream will usually last for an hour, maybe an hour and 30 minutes if I keep enjoying my speech and the way I talk and how much I'm talking. And if we get a certain like short setup or long setup that I was planning for, and I get it actually on live, I'd never be like scared to take it, guys, like in front of you guys. It's actually the whole premise of me like trading and having my week's portal open while I actually do TA on Bitcoin and go live every single day. The whole premise of this live stream is actually to not only do TA, it is good to give you like a whole plan for the day, but also because we like going live quite like closely to when the New York session opens. We always get the most important volume during this time, like 30 minutes before the New York session, and after, like the whole time after New York session is also always good. This is why on my Arabic channel every single day, guys, I'm going to actually go live. I think in like 30 minutes after I'm done with this, I'm going to go live on this channel. Every single day we get into trades live if we have the chance. So for example, if I find a scalp setup, a long-term setup, intraday setup, I'm always going to take them with you guys. So I think it's enough talking with me because I need to talk about the short, guys. Thank you guys for actually commenting. I really enjoy building this community back, or rebuilding a community, because I've done it on my Arabic channel. It was also always something at the back of my mind, how hard it's going to be restarting the effort of building a channel. But hopefully I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest. Like, I've never thought going live in English, especially because what's good about going live in English is actually it covers a wider range of variety in terms of like locations and geographical regions. Hence why, like, we've seen people from all around the world come to this comment section, which is actually quite nice, to be honest. So let me just take a sip of water, and then I'm going to talk about the short. If we get it like live, I'm going to take it immediately with you guys. I'm going to answer your questions, guys, but before that, let's cover the shorts, because as I told you now, I'm quite happy about the bounce we've had from $100,000. I'm hoping that some of you guys at least try to take a long at the fake out of $100,000 and then the reclaim. I mentioned quite that yesterday, but now that we're done with this, we're seeing now something that is quite good, which is actually a bit of a bounce for once on Bitcoin. However, I can't say that Bitcoin is totally on the clear and in the clear now, guys, because technically, if I go, sorry guys, for the higher time frame, well, not the higher time frame, but at least like add more like candles to it, I'm going to stick on the 4 hour time frame and just cover more area in terms of how many of the period, like a larger period. And then, as I told you yesterday, I'm going to take the volume profile from the end of 2024 to the current price action, and you can clearly see, guys, that we are still under or in between or inside the gap, in between the top areas of volume, where I told you guys that between them there's a huge gap of inefficiency in terms of volume. This was actually the main reason why I told you guys yesterday that while we sit below 105, 104.7, I'm going to be waiting for a larger drop. And right now we are still technically, it's not, I'm not saying that Bitcoin has like definitely is going down, but technically yes, I told you guys that I dislike the wicks at the lows. I do not like how we reacted from $100,000, and also because we are still within this large gap. As you can see, we haven't even reclaimed this area. I think I've got it in as a red box now. I think this would be this would make it more visible. I told you guys yesterday that we've got this literally a huge wick. Like, this volume profile like pull is actually a full year of volume of data, and then losing 104.7, say let's just call it 105, losing 105 would mean a large drop or a quick drop back below to 97. Why? Because there literally no, like, there's actually technically a volume, but just because this is a large pull, the volume within this gap isn't like anything compared to what we've got on these two areas of 97 and 105. So what I'm trying to say, guys, now that we've seen Bitcoin actually immediately jump from 97 to 104 previously, and based on that, and I've done it, or I've seen it many times again and again, guys. I've been teaching this idea for almost 3 years or 2 years now, so I know that this is a high likelihood idea or a high likelihood play or setup that we actually, once this is lost, it's almost like 80% of us going to 97. I'm not saying that this is definitely, but this is basically the premise or the idea of us like finding a gap in a certain volume pull. Now, I'm not saying that you should randomly put a volume profile tool and you'll find gaps and predict all of these kind of moves, but on the larger time frames, yes, usually these gaps usually not fill out, but at least play out in terms of like moving from one area to another. And by saying that, I'm saying now that Bitcoin, even though we have gotten our long awaited bounce and long position at $100,000, it's technically good in terms of like on the 4 hour time frame. I like the reaction, but on the lower time frame, we still do not like the wicks. I told you guys that I do not like the wicks here. We didn't take liquidity from these wicks, and also we haven't still yet reclaimed $105,000 as I told you as the main idea, because once we reclaim this, I'm going to tell you guys, okay, at least we have reclaimed the big volume place or the volume area where we were basing our idea of gap rotation or volume rotation based on. So we are still within the idea whilst we are below 105. I'm going to still be waiting for 97. I'm not saying that just sell randomly, but at least have it at the back of your mind that yes, we have gotten a nice long position. That's why I'm not telling you guys to randomly or immediately shut or close your long position. Please, if you had gotten the long position at $100,000 as explained from yesterday, as I told you even on my Telegram channel, guys. By the way, I think I removed it from my from this the description, but I hope I'll be able to add it again. Anyways, I have my free Telegram channel. I removed it or I forgot to put it back all on the description. Either way, on the free Telegram channel, I told you guys today morning that if you had entered at $100,000, please move your stop loss at entry. Why? Because I have a hunch, a feeling. It's not 100%. I'd never trade based upon it, but at least this hunch of me feeling that Bitcoin would probably rotate back lower to 97 would make me, even if I'm not going to trade based upon it, at least would make me put my stop loss at break even. And by break even, I mean just at entry, and then take profits. So it wouldn't be technically break even, it would be even in profits, and then hold the rest for higher. I cannot tell you, even though like I've said, like the low, I don't like the low. I have a feeling that Bitcoin is going to 97. Even with all of this, please do not close a long that you've been taken or have taken at $100,000. Just move the stop loss at entry and then take some profits and wait. If we reclaim 105, hold your long for longer. If we reclaim 107 or 108, hold your long for longer. And then if we reclaim 100,000 or $111,000, then you can actually hold it for much higher. This way, or this is the way I like to trade, basically, guys. Even like with the way I dealt with my short at literally the all-time high, I still got it open, by the way, guys, at 125.4. I had it open because I always like to short a fake out of the highs. I took a short. I did not know that this would be actually I didn't know that it would end up as literally the all-time high and the best short from literally the wick of the all-time high. But at least I knew how to be greedy in terms of holding on to like winning trades for longer and cutting my losses quite early. So I always stick to my stop loss. Whenever I'm losing, I'd never move it like to lower prices. I'd never change how much I'm going to lose on a trade, unless I'm going to actually decrease it. I'm never going to increase the amount of loss or potential loss as my stop loss going lower. I'd never move it. But when it comes to winning trades, as I did with this long trade, or sorry, the short trade, I still got it open. I just took 50%, which is much more than I was expecting or planning, because I didn't know that this would be also the all-time high. So I just took 50% off and left the rest. I do not care, even if Bitcoin now goes back to 125.4 and like hits my stop loss at break even. Imagine that, like all what's needed to go back and like stop me out of this trade with like only 50% profit is us going from 102 to 125. I'm not saying that this wouldn't happen, but I'm going to be sticking with the short. I'm going to be as greedy as possible with the exchange. I won't be closing it unless they close me or like force me to do this exact thing. So guys, hopefully this is basically the idea that we've got right now. And this is exactly why, even though I have a feeling, or technically, like there's a higher likelihood of going back lower to 97, and even like at least taking out these wicks at 98, but this would never push me or make me close a winning long. Just move your stop loss at entry, and then be happy with the rest. Either we actually like you take some profits, put the stop loss at entry, and then we either lose it and you just go out with the 50% profit, or you should just watch it compound and turn into one of the most amazing trades. So either like be lucky to hold like a long literally from the lows and suddenly it becomes one of the best longs, as I did on the flip side with the short, or it would be something that a forgettable long that you've just made a little bit of money, moved the stop loss at entry, and then left it, and actually like it went back to your stop loss. So this is the way I'd like to like make the idea of us going back to 97 influence you guys, not to short randomly or close your long randomly. Just at least be cautious of this idea. Now that we're done with this, the short I've got based on us holding down 104 to $105,000 is basically this area. I still got it in red. Let's just decrease the opacity of it. I think that's much better. We've got the area of highest volume as seen from the total volume profile pull from the past year. We also got in confluence the Fibonacci golden pocket area, as you can see here, from this local wick or local high to this current local low, and then we can see this at confluence with the zone of high volume. And thirdly, I also took this anchored view up taken literally from this local also high as I told you guys, the way I like to trade is mainly volume. So I've got this anchored view up, and what this anchored view up like tells you, what's the story behind using this anchored view up tool, is basically that. Do you see how like we started going down? What was the beginning of us downtrending on the lower time frame? Even though like technically you can also pull an anchored view up from here, because technically yes, like there's multiple ways or like multiple like options or paths for you to take an anchored view up pull. You can either say that this anchored view up represents the whole downtrend from 116 to back down to 98, or you can say that yes, this is correct. This is why I got it like on the chart. But also secondarily, we also got an inner downtrend that was started within the larger downtrend, which was started at $111,000 here. So yes, I'm going to be focusing on this. If this is reclaimed, then I'm going to be focusing on the other one. See how this kind of works. And then also when we break out of this one, I'm going to be actually having this anchored view up moved to the all-time high. So instead of having literally my like chart jam-packed with anchored view ups coming from all the way down, I just rather focus on one, and then if this is reclaimed, delete it, and then focus on the other higher one. So just to end off this idea, just to give you an idea of why I'm planning to short at 104 closely, 103.7 to 104.7. Why? Because we got the high volume area as shown from the larger pull of the volume profile. We got the anchored view up representing the downtrend that we started from 111 to 98, and then the golden pocket Fibonacci. And lastly, just to actually do or put the toppings on the cake, or the icing on the cake as you call it, the little NPOC, a naked point of control. This is some idea that I can actually share or explain in a better chance hopefully next time. But just think about it as resistance, because it was actually the point of control of a previous whole day. I think yesterday, yes. So yesterday we had this point of control, and we have the anchored view up, and we have also this confluence. So you see how I've mentioned and told you guys that I'm planning to short, but not randomly. I'm going to be waiting. I'm going to have my alerts at 103.7, at 104.4, and then watch how the candles and the price reacts. Preferably, I'd be waiting, to be honest, for the New York session to be open, which is actually in about 40 minutes. I'd prefer it to happen when the New York session opens. Once this happens, like New York session opens, I've got multiple ideas for a confluence of short. Then if I get offered this short, by offered I mean at least us reaching there and then like wicking off or making a bad reaction, faking it out to the lower side. I'd never randomly, just please do not take me or take the idea I'm sharing with you guys, the short setup I'm sharing with you guys now, as me telling you to randomly go on weeks and put a limit order at the specific line, which is 104, 105. Please do not do that, but rather just have multiple alerts within the whole area of interest of a short, and then watch the reaction. We'll just wait, have it like start watching it at the 15-minute time frame. Obviously it's going to be harder than just randomly taking a limit short, but it's better to be honest, because what happens or what could happen, we either go lower and never be offered the short, or also actually like immediately like wick up, hit or break 104, 105 $1,000, and then immediately start pumping up. So think about like what would happen to your short if you have it as a limit order here. Like you'll be immediately like put into the short, your short order will be executed, and then you'll immediately be liquidated because the price just immediately jumped up. So just to avoid this from happening with us playing with only stats and what we've got in front of our eyes, just put please alerts, guys. And once you see your phone going off, open up the chart and see the reaction. I'd prefer to be honest, like I've got multiple like different scenarios to how I trade it, but my preferred scenario is actually going as high as possible, so 105, and then going back lower to 104 or 103.7. Then this would be actually the nicest short to be had, taking it all the way down to fill or take the weak lows. I told you guys I do not like these lows because we've got liquidities, and preferably also get back down to $97,000, as it is the idea of us filling down the whole volume and efficiency. So this is maybe or probably the plan. If we see a pump and then a fake out to the lower side. This will be the short idea I've got for you guys today. If you're planning to take it, this will be actually one of the best times to actually do it on weeks, because as I told you guys, I've got the daily price pool or the daily trading competition every single day. I think there's only 3 hours remaining on the current day. So think about this. Like, if you manage to make an account now and deposit and reach the minimum, technically, like mathematically, you'd be able to make an account now because there's no KYC, and in 2 minutes deposit a certain amount. And like, if you get the minimum trading volume with you being the only guy who participated for today, by today I mean just the remaining 3 hours, you'd be able to reclaim or claim the $200 USDT, an actual amount of USDT that would be actually airdropped. This isn't a bonus that I'm talking about, guys. Here it's an actual amount of money. So if you want to actually like make the most out of this arbitrage, the difference in time now, make an account quickly and start talking about it, because I think then or later on I'm going to speak on my Arabic channel on the same trading competition. So if you want to support me and also get some nice money, because as I told you guys, essentially weeks are giving away money, guys. I've never seen them put the trading competition requirements with such low trading volume every single day. With this trading volume being at $5,000, guys, you can literally just have $100 to your name, use a couple of leverage, and then you'll be able to like easily exceed this minimum requirement, and then just be thinking about fighting the other or the rest for the actual amount. So as I told you guys, it's quite lovely to be actually having the trading competition. It's going to go on for 6 hours and 3 days, so technically 7 days, but the 7th day or the first day has only 3 hours and 5 minutes left, guys. So if you want to immediately do it, make an account with no KYC, just go to the first link in the description. Then this will take you to this page. Hit the register now button. It will take you to the sign up page with my referral code being, I think, automatically put. Just put your email and then deposit. Doesn't require no KYC. They're not gonna ask you about anything regarding your papers, documentation, or anything. Just deposit and start actually like joining on into this competition. As I told you, it's quite lovely that we've only got 3 hours and there's literally 0 participants, because this is the only time like I've literally gotten this trading competition on. It has been 2 hours, I think, guys. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to talk also about it on my Arabic live stream. So hopefully the participant will be much higher, guys. So jump on, catch on this easy $200 that could be made if you actually be the only sole guy who participated for today, quote unquote today. By today I mean 3 hours. Anyways, let me take a quick reading on the comments, and then I'm also going to talk about some dangerous stuff that could happen for ETH, because ETH technically could fall much lower, guys, especially with Bitcoin. With us having an idea to maybe short Bitcoin, ETH could fall much lower. So let me take a sip of water and then take a quick look on the comments. Sorry if you're missing your guys' comments. I just wanted to quickly end off with the short setup idea. Cube said, what's your portfolio ratio for spot versus futures? Do you have most assets in spot, Bitcoin, or USDT? Now, mostly USDT, brother. And the ratio, I wouldn't be able to tell you, but mostly spot, to be honest. I've opened yesterday a head short from 104.7. Shall I keep it open? I didn't take a long from 100,000. It is quite good that you have taken a head short. It's essentially something that's quite good. And as the 104.7 is literally like similar to you taking a long at $100,000. Like whatever I said for the people who had longed $100,000, I'd be able to say the exact same thing for the people who had shorted 104.7. Why? Because technically right now we are on the midway point. So just take 50% off, brother, and move your stop loss at 104.7. Easy as that. And then if we actually get another short trade, reopen the exact same short trade if offered, and hopefully me and the rest of the guys will be joining on into this nice short trade if we actually get offered just that. The idea would be basically just to open the short, have the stop loss at the wick, wherever it comes out to be, and then the target would be technically the lows at 98.8, but fully rotation to 97 would be expected, to be honest. So something around this line of movement, to be honest, as expected. Rohan said, hello brother. Wayne said, New York session opens at 6:30 or 18:30 Dubai time, so a little less than 2 hours from now. I'm not sure about that, brother. I think unless they change the timing, I'm pretty sure it has always been opening or starting at 5:30 Dubai time. However, I think the twice a year they move the timing from 5:30 and 6:30. So you could be actually right. I just need to double check that just to give you more precise exact timing, to be honest. Let me just quickly check out this trading hours website. Exactly, just to be exact. Thank you, brother, for actually telling me that, because I think they changed it this week or past week, because I've been checking it almost every single day. Now the timing has changed, guys. So a correction. Thank you, brother Wayne. The New York session start, it has moved, or the timing for the New York session open has moved from 5:30 Dubai time to 6:30 Dubai time. Thank you. I really appreciate this correction, brother. Brother said, Wizard, I think, or Wizard, I'll be taking profits in every resistance zone because it's a pain after that liquidation event on the 10th of October. Quite smart, to be honest. Is it late to enter a long now? To be honest, yes. If you haven't caught or catched the low at $100,000, I wouldn't recommend opening a long now. If you make up a reason for like a little scalp idea to maybe jump on, then yes. But just randomly longing, I wouldn't, to be honest, recommend it, guys. As I told you guys, it's better just to wait. I'd rather be waiting for 97 to long or 104. 0.7 to short. Like, not like if I do not, if the candles start moving like in between them, I do not hit, or it doesn't hit whether like either the resistance or the support. I'm just going to be watching the candles, to be honest. I'm not forced. I don't have something that's forcing me to randomly enter trades, guys. Cube said, by the way, bro, the 9th of April 2025 low of 75,000 was also similar, was also a similar pattern, a daily wick higher than the previous week, but turned out to be the bottom. What is the chance today's wick is the bottom? Thanks for actually like mentioning that, and actually like saying that. As I told you guys, like even with like, that's why I had to like preface what I've said about these wicks as being like wick or weird or like low or bad, because I told you guys that even though like if someone tells you that yes, liquidity there's a higher chance of us going back down, as Cube has said, this would not mean that we should, or it's not a must that we go back lower. So I wouldn't be able to give you like an actual chance in terms of like a percentage of what's the likelihood of going back lower. But let me just quickly check out if it's exactly similar to what happened here. You're talking about the 9th of April. Now I'd be actually now just quickly checking an important thing. Now the good thing is that the timing here is different. The structure is different. Bitcoin was actually coming off of a huge downtrend from I think 108 back down to 74. So I think the circumstances are a bit different to what we've got now. Bitcoin is actually more bullish, and by more bullish I mean there's a higher likelihood of actually faking out like everybody who tried to long. But I do agree that with the fact or the idea that if we have like a low and a higher low, that does not like mean that we will definitely go 100% back to reach or retake these lows. So it's very good that you mentioned that, Cube. But as I told you guys, I think the circumstances still are different when it comes to the current lows, to be honest. Also because the lows here are on a different, smaller time frame in between. If you think about it here, this was actually I think multiple hours or even a day apart. Maybe let's take a look. Almost 2 days apart. So we had a day and 20 hours apart from these wicks being done or being put. And then if we actually like compare it to what we've got right now, let me quickly go back to the current price action. You can clearly see that I think there's like maybe 3-4 hours in between them. Let me check. I think 3:30 or 3 hours and 30 minutes to 4 hours in between them. So I think it's very quite like real to be actually not comparing it exactly, but I do agree that yes, this just shows you the fact that I've mentioned previously, that whenever or even if I tell you the high is weak or the low is weak because we didn't quite like fake out the previous week, we had lower high, or in the case of the highs, lower or higher low in terms of the lows, and a lower high in terms of the highs. So just to give you a better visual idea when it comes to drawing, this is classed as a weak high because we had made a high and then didn't quite take the previous high, hence why this is classed as a weak high. And on the flip side, this would be classed as a weak low of us allowing longs to be open and then not taking them out, not faking them out, and then going higher. So this is yes a lower or weaker low, and this is a weaker high, but this would never mean 100%, as Brother Cube has mentioned, this wouldn't mean that yes, 100% we're going down to take the wick, or 100% we're going up to take the high. This is not as easy or as simple as I may have made it seem like when I was talking about the wicks. I'm just saying that, guys, these wicks, I do not like them. I even didn't like the wicks at 74k, by the way, or 75k. So me not liking them doesn't mean that I'm going to short randomly. I'm not going to have an agenda against us going back to 70 $98,000. I'm going to like immediately jump into a random short. I just have like a technical short, like just to give you a better idea, a better understanding. Like I would have been like waiting for a short like this, even if the wicks were like flipped, even if the wicks were like this, I wouldn't care much. The fact that the wicks have more liquidity would make me more confident in taking the short, but wouldn't change the fact or the matter of me thinking about shorting here. Hopefully I've made it quite understandable with the way I like to speak. I have a long, brothers, KSZ. I have a long with average entry around 112. My liquidation price is around 62. This is why I've opened a hedge short. I did small DCA to my long, but entry still that high. It is good. I like that you've at least opened a hedge short, but just to give you something that maybe would stick with you, brother, and also for the rest of you guys for the longer term, please do not tell me, or like it's okay to tell me, but please do not do it like again. Do not put yourself in a position where you open a losing trade, no matter a long or short, and then be praying not to have your liquidation price being hit. Like you having the entry, just sorry for using you as an example, brother. Hopefully I don't mean it in any hateful way, but you having your entry at 112, as you can see here, you're having your entry at 112, and then having your liquidation at 62, and not like, and still sticking with this losing trade, shows me that you like borderline gambled instead of actually traded with you using your money. Because I'm actually like blown away by, not specifically blown away, but just to use it as figuratively, I'm quite blown away by how you entered at 112. There is like a guy out there, with all due respect, quite like, thank you for your support, but I'm just using it as an educational example. I'm quite blown away by someone who still like has a long trade open from 112, and he still got it intact. This is totally, or this would go against every single idea of what trading is, brother. Just to give you like, just because I'm more like cautious, and also because I care a lot about every single guy who comments now, and even when we start building a community, I'm going to be caring a lot about every single guy. This is why I'm trying to give you some hard truth facts that may not care about your feelings, but hopefully something that would stick with you, brother, for the long term. If I want you to start getting liquidated and randomly losing trades, I wouldn't be telling you this. But just because I do not want my viewers to start being liquidated, please do not cheat futures and leverage trading as if you're spot buying. Do not tell me I'm DCAing down or I'm opening a head short because I'm stuck at the entry of 112 and I'm waiting for the price to go, or I'm hoping not to hit $67,000, which is my liquidation price, or 62. Because even if, for example, like probably Bitcoin has a higher chance of going back to 112 than hitting the liquidation price at 62. But in terms of standards, and also in terms of you having plans and rules, this would actually break every single rule that I've got. And also it shows that like you're not quite trading with a plan. You're opening a trade without knowing when you're wrong. Like you do not have an invalidation. Like opening a trade at 112 and then having your quote unquote invalidation being the liquidation price, which is 62, isn't a valid invalidation area. Hence why I always tell you guys that please, if you open a trade and you're wrong, make it go away quickly. Like be wrong quickly and be right for a longer time. I know it's easier said than done, but the way I'm trying to say is like, actually guys, please, if you open a trade, stick to a hard stop loss. Like do not press the button where it executes a trades before you have thought about the stop loss. Like it's better, like I'm just like giving you advice, guys, that it's always like, it's more important to think about the stop loss than think about the target. If someone tells me like I've opened a trade but I only had my stop loss, I don't yet have a target, that would be totally fine with me. It's nothing wrong with that. you can actually do multiple things with that. But if you tell me that I've got a target but I do not have a stop loss, that would immediately push you in the red zone of you going, and like you I think hopefully not, but in general someone who does this would be actually days or months away from blowing out his whole account. So if you want to actually become a day trader, actually like stick with the trades that I'm mentioning and talking about. Like please, just because I don't want someone blowing up their trades if we get one losing trade, guys, because with my risk management, I'm able to hit my stop loss and then like take a couple of hits and then make money. So trading is never about being correct 100% of the time, even though yes, we quote unquote predicted a move from 111 back down to 98. I'm quite happy about being right. I'm more right than the wrong, thankfully, even on my Arabic channel. I think my viewers would know, but I sometimes get it wrong, guys. So I do not want someone that would maybe follow quote unquote my advice and then be or have his whole account liquidated, guys. So sorry for rambling on. I know I spoke for a lot. I just wanted to make this point quite clear for every single one of you guys, because it's very dangerous to be trading based on your liquidation price. Do not cheat. Forget about the liquidation price, for God's sake, guys. Now that we're done with this, I want to like remind you guys that I told you yesterday that losing this area, now I'm going to flip it into a red zone, but it can easily go back up. This area of 3,400 to 3,200 or 3,300 is a must kept area as support, because losing this area, even if for example now Bitcoin bounces a bit, allows for it to go up, but if we go back down, lose this, like think about this, like just to make it quite simple for you guys, especially if someone is into ETH or wants to buy ETH or is like planning to short ETH, us holding down 3,400 as resistance, just a matter of fact, because I told you guys we've got a gap in volume as we do with Bitcoin. I told you on Bitcoin we have a gap from 104 back down to 97. On ETH it's much more dangerous. It's much more larger. We got a gap from 3,400 back down to 2,600. So think about that, like 22% of a drop, a potential drop. We've even like some may think that we've dropped enough on ETH, because actually from the all-time high we have gone down. Let me calculate it. At 32, the wick was at 38% down. One may think that this is the end of the fall or the drop, but technically, because Bitcoin still has its own issues, still has its own larger possible drops, ETH can actually fall lower by losing 3,400, could actually fall lower to $2,600 as quickly and as easy. Please do not be like longing just on the premise, on the idea of us having fallen down like enough. There isn't such thing called or as enough, guys, in terms of taking some nice trades. So hopefully you've understood what I'm trying to get at here. And just to make it like, just to say it for the last time, hopefully this on this live stream, I've been waiting actually for this trade to actually happen. I'm waiting for this because if we get it and we hit the area and the lines when I'm live or during this live stream, I'm always happy to take the trade with you guys. Just to end, or just a reminder, guys, that now if you go to the first link in the description, make yourself an account quite quickly, because we only got 2 hours and 48 minutes before this day ends. So if you want to make the most out of the first $600, because as I told you guys, the whole trading competition is based upon who ranks higher in terms of trading volume for every single day. So instead of making it as a whole leaderboard for the whole week, fighting for this whole amount, the week split it off into 7 days, which is like a full week. Every single day they're going to actually give away $600. So every single time the clock moves into a new day, they're going to reward the leaderboard of a certain day. As you can see here, the leaderboard is still empty because no one has yet participated. So if you want to actually like farm the weeks out of their money, you can actually now like quickly open up a week's account. Just go to my description, use this button to take the sign up button. Make sure that you've got my referral code written here, and then put your email and quickly, with no KYC, make an account. The deposit would probably take you 5 minutes, and then once you're like done having put money into the account, just immediately go back here, register into the trading competition, and open up a trade. Because if you hit the minimum trading volume, I know I shouldn't be saying that, but I doesn't care. This isn't my money, guys, to be honest. So just quickly open an account with my own referral code and reach a minimum of $5,000 USDT. And only because you're the only guy here in the competition for today, by today I mean just the 2 hours left, you can technically win the 200 USDT dollars by being the first and only one. Like even if 5 people open accounts now, just trying to like fight for the easy bucks now, all of you guys will be able to make money because everybody would be making money. So 20 USDT, 50 USDT, 100, 150, 200. So being early would make you the most money, guys. Hopefully, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, actually for bearing with me for the second day. As promised, guys, that every single day make sure that you've got the notification bell turned on. And just quickly, because I forgot to have my Telegram, unfortunately, on the description, I forgot to have it on. So let me just quickly copy it from a different live stream. Let me just hit the copy button. I'm going to have it on my comment description, guys. Comment section, sorry. On my comment section, I've just pasted the Champs Crypto English Telegram. It's a free Telegram channel where I post updates, guys. So if you wanna keep up with me every single day, as promised, today is my second day of fulfilling the promise. I'm going to go live every single day for at least an hour. This is not my this is the English channel. Every single day for at least an hour, you're going to be watching or seeing my face from Monday to Friday. And in addition, I'll be making my usual 5 to 7 minutes quick updates. And just to be fully into the Champs Crypto realm, make sure that you also, guys, have entered the free Telegram channel. Moto said, I'm learning a lot from your new English show. Thanks, brother, for your kind words. And thank you, everyone, or every single person who've been kind to me and making or smoothing out my experience in transitioning from making content literally for 3-4 years in Arabic. I've reached 804 videos. And now with the transition into English, it has been totally amazing, to be honest, with some of you guys coming up or showing up every single day in the videos and now on the live streams, guys. So hopefully, if you want to support me, just tune in, hit the notification bell. I'd never ask you to subscribe, but if you find my content quite useful, educational, profitable at least, hopefully you're going to sub and watch me for a longer time, guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed what I've said today. I'm going to make an update, a quick little 5-minute update, as a promise, after 2 to 3 hours. I'm just going to be waiting for something different to happen, and then I'm going to be posting a video, so be on the lookout for that. But now that we're done with this, you've got the trading competition starting now. If you want to actually join in, make some money, actual USDT, you've got the first thing in the description. Weeks, one of the best with the lowest fees in terms of their trading. And also I like them because they do not require KYC. So if you want to actually make an account, it would be very easy. Done enough with the promotional stuff. See you guys hopefully in